Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the rightleftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. GMA's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins. Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 99. I'm Connor Murphy, here with Grace Matthews. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
Well, I'm great. It's been an eventful day already.
Oh, really?
I had to eat lunch at 10 o'clock because I was famished.
Isn't that funny how that happens sometimes?
This is neuter day for the new puppy.
Oh, poor little boy.
Oh my gosh, I had to take food away from him. He didn't understand. He barfed in the car. He got it on me before 7 a.m. this morning. No. Oh my gosh, come on. Wow. Quite a day, but the surgery is over. He came through it fine. I'll be picking him up later.
Oh, so good.
Oliver is now,
fixed.
An it.
Fixed. I don't know why they call it fixed. He wasn't broken to begin with, But they
that's true.
Yeah. So what do we got today?
Well, happy 500th day of President Trump's presidency.
Wow. Who thought it, huh?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, has he accomplished anything?
No.
According to the Dems, he hasn't accomplished anything.
Well, it's also the 500th day of them trying to impeach him, too. So happy anniversary, Democrats. Woohoo!
Exactly. Of course, they started before he ever took off.
Yeah, true. It's like, the 700th day?
Yeah, probably 700 for them.
Yeah.
But I think he's kept a lot of his campaign promises. Yeah. Most of the presidents do not. Now, they're a little surprised at that and ticked about some of them. But most of what he has done is what he campaigned on.
Yeah, despite, being sort of backstabbed by some of the Republicans and the Democrats trying to block him at every move, actually done a good job.
He has done a good job. And who could have ever exposed more of the deep state than he has? True. I mean, Nixon didn't expose this much.
Right.
Watergate just did not expose it. So I think that we can either thank him or not for that, because a lot of people have disappointed me.
Yeah, and why are they not in jail? That's what's disappointing me.
That's a good point. Speaking of jail and pardons, President Trump and the White House claims that he can pardon himself.
Well, we've kind of talked about that before.
Now, we have. It's a strange implication, and we need to think about the broader picture.
Right.
The forefathers said that you can't indict a sitting president. Now, the obvious reason, and the reason I believe they stated, was that would put the country's business on the back burner while the president defended himself.
Right.
And there's really nothing that couldn't wait till after he left office. Now, if you think about it, if you don't indict a president while he's in office, then he can't pardon himself.
That is totally true.
Well, absolutely. And he's saying this because we know he talks jack a lot, That's
right.
what we call it down here in the hills, talking jack.
Yeah.
But he would be impeached so fast your head wouldn't stop spinning.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he could do this. He could pardon himself. He could do a lot of things. But impeachment still stands. I mean, Congress can still impeach him. And I think both Republicans and Democrats would certainly do so.
Yeah, I think so.
But you got to think about this whole Mueller. It's really sort of a scam.
Yeah.
And even ex-Clinton advisor this weekend said Mueller is absolutely out to get Trump, and that was Mark Penn.
Right.
It's becoming an embarrassment, even to a lot of Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, Trump's been in their sights forever. Since he decided to run,
Absolutely. And you got to think about like this Adam Schiff. Yeah. He said today on Twitter, President Nixon asked the Department of Justice if he could pardon himself. They said no, as no one may be the judge in their own case, which has got a little bit of a point there, but I think he's wrong. But he says that Nixon resigned 3 days later. In case you want to follow the Nixon model, that would be Thursday, according to Adam.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think so this time. Yeah.
I don't think so either. I don't think he thinks so. But yeah. Adam Schiff is definitely one of those guys out to get Trump. I mean, he's almost worse than Mueller because he is on every media show on TV,
right?
Except Fox News, of course.
Here's the big difference with Nixon. Nixon did the spying. Trump didn't do the spying. He's not the one.
Well, and Trump said that. He goes, I don't need to pardon myself because I didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
And I don't believe he did. Yeah. First of all, like I said, remember when we did the story about him and Putin?
Right.
When everybody was acting like they were dating or something, and how much they liked each other. They're way too much alike.
Yeah.
I mean, they are not going to bow down. I mean, Putin wouldn't bow down to Trump. Trump wouldn't bow down to him.
Right.
They couldn't collude. Trump can barely have business partners. He doesn't have that personality. Yeah. So collusion is an idiotic thing. They should have came up with something else to try to nail him with.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit his personality profile. Love him or hate him, a lot of, if you read his book, you realize he pulled out of a lot of partnerships because he wants to call the shots.
And the ones that were really dealing with Russia were the Clintons, not the Trumps.
Absolutely. The Clintons, and I tell you what, I think Obama's were at the end of that.
Yeah, for sure. I do too.
A lot of people, I think, made some money off that deal.
You bet.
And, things in the world get crazier and crazier. That Iran deal that Obama and Clinton and, everybody else did was corrupt.
Oh, totally.
Of course, we pulled out of it. Now we are looking at a North Korea deal. We cannot make the same mistake with North Korea that we did with Iran. But little Kim is getting nervous. I think he's getting nervous about his own people, and we've talked about that a lot on this show.
Right. We talked about a coup before, or a possible coup.
Exactly, and making that even more feasible, he fired and replaced 3 of his top generals, or the top 3 generals this weekend. They thought that he should not give up the nukes. The new generals he put in place are younger and believe they need to give up the nukes and maybe get some food in there.
Wow.
I mean, I think he's facing a coup on 2 sides. His people that are starving to death, and then the generals that want to keep these nukes.
Yeah, the warmongering generals. Yeah.
Exactly. And little Ken is having trouble keeping his dictatorship intact. And in fact, it might even be worse than we thought because he can't pay for his room in Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Now, the bill would be about $6,000 US. Now, we can't really pay it for him because that would be sort of a conflict of interest.
Right.
I think probably what they will do is have Singapore pay for it. We'll somehow pay them back, and it'll be one of those bookkeeping deals. But imagine that. See, I'm afraid this isn't going to go down. Not for the reasons everybody's stating. I don't think little Kim can leave overnight without being afraid that there's going to be a military coup or a coup from his people.
Wow.
And you got to know that when he left there for short times earlier, it was not publicized.
Yeah, true. He controls all the media in his country, so he can do basically anything he wants to do without them knowing.
Well, maybe not. Guess what? We have set up a black market internet.
Oh.
Now, that's not reaching all the people, but they say that it's reaching enough for the people.
Wow.
So that they can get information about the rest of the world. And I just learned that this morning.
Wow. I had no idea. I figured that, it was probably something going on where they would get Wi-Fi or be sending Wi-Fi signals and putting up their counter propaganda attack.
Well, that information came from radio's talk show host, David Webb.
Interesting tidbit.
Yeah. So speaking of tidbits, here's another little tidbit on Starbucks.
Oh.
Seems like they get in the news a lot. I think it's like free advertising.
Yeah, for sure.
Nevertheless, the head of Starbucks says Trump is the reason for racism.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
That's
God!
a bold statement.
How many years has Trump been alive? I knew he was old, but I didn't know he was that old.
Well, I don't know. Where the majority of Starbucks is Washington down to California, so they probably really like that statement, and sales are going up.
You know what I think? I think Starbucks is racist.
Well, no kidding.
Think, who can afford $7 coffee?
Exactly.
There is a certain kind of client that can only afford that.
I mean, they just took their day of training because they kicked out 2 black men out of their restaurant.
It was like an overreaction.
Yeah, and they're going to cure racism in a day.
Well,
Sorry.
let me tell you, there is only, very few minorities can afford their damn coffee. So who's a racist?
I wish I would have been able to see what that training,
Oh, I do too. Well, we have a long-awaited Supreme Court ruling on, remember the baker that would not bake the wedding cake
in
for the
Colorado,
gay couple
yeah.
in Colorado.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has ruled. Now, they ruled in favor of the baker. It was a 7-2 decision by the justices.
Wow.
Which was pretty overwhelming. That means only 2 disagreed. First of all, you have an issue of free speech here.
Right.
But free speech in the artistic sense. And then you have religious freedom. The baker, due to his religion, does not believe in gay marriage. Baking a wedding cake is artistic. Someone tells you what you want and you provide your artistic interpretation of whatever it is they wanted. If they want a birch tree in the middle of their wedding cake or whatever,
Was this was this a male gay couple or a female gay couple?
Male.
So did they ask for like a penis cake maybe or something?
I don't know what they asked for.
It's making me think now.
I think the ruling's correct.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think the baker is correct in feeling the way he does about gay marriage, because my religion, my God, whatever, my interpretation is not that. I think people should be free to marry who they want. But it should be a person. I don't think people should marry dogs and stuff.
As long as you're happy, who cares?
As long as you're happy, and by the same token, I don't believe that we should judge the man's religion.
True.
I think this goes on. So I think that this ruling is about this case. This man truly was religious. I don't think you could necessarily use this as case law for a lot of other cases.
No, this is really
involving gay marriage.
Well, I think it's really stupid that it needed to go this far. It doesn't have to do with anything other than, hey, I'm a businessman. I can choose who I do business with. Where's the guy's rights as a business owner?
Whatever happened to no shirt, no shoes, no service?
Exactly. That's my point here. So why did it have to go all the way to the Supreme Court when this business owner is saying, look, I don't want to do business with you 2 guys?
Right, exactly. And he even clarified, he said, I will sell you a cake already made.
Yeah, it was a penis cake. I told you it was a penis cake. It was a penis cake. I know it was. It had
I don't know. Whatever it was, he did not feel comfortable doing it because of religion. And, it might have been something like that. Surely it wasn't exactly that, a penis cake, but it was something he didn't feel comfortable with.
Right.
I think it was a good ruling, this case. The man's already lost his business.
Yeah,
it's kind of late in the game, and it's unfortunate that Supreme Court decisions and courts take this long.
Yeah.
But they do. Have some good news.
Okay.
Breast cancer affects many women. Cancer in general affects many people. They have learned that 70% of the breast cancer patients might actually be able to avoid chemo. That is huge.
That is huge.
Now, what they've done is they've kind of narrowed down a gene that tells them, with, I guess, some reliability, that this person, the 70% of the people, are unlikely to have a reoccurrence of cancer.
Wow. Okay. That is great news.
That could spill over into other cancers, maybe.
And it
eventually.
should. And it should.
Because we all know people that have actually died of complications from chemotherapy versus the actual cancer.
Yeah. And if you go talk to, the cancer patients down at the Cancer Lodge, they'll all say it's not the cancer that kills you, it's the chemo.
Oh my gosh. It is just so, I can just sit here and cry thinking about it, because I have been over there where they treat the cancer patients, and until you have, or you've been through it yourself, it's horrible. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, you go to a black place that you've never gone before, and it's not pretty. At least for me, they told me right off the bat, look, chemo doesn't work on your type of cancer. So I was like, yay. Yeah.
So you did radiation.
Yes.
Which is bad enough. Radiation is not, fun and games.
Yeah. Oh, no, I deal with daily consequences.
Not as bad as chemo.
Yeah, I deal with daily consequences. So of the radiation, and it's going on. It'll be the rest of my life, So yeah, and they messed that up too. So I'm glad I kind of went the cannabis oil method and took matters in my own hands, because I don't know too many people that lived with stage 3 cancer in their lymphatic system for 3 or 4 years. So I'm still here. No chemo for this cowboy.
Yeah. No, more power to you. Yeah. Do you have to charge your cell phone, or does it automatically charge just when it's on your body?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, squatters. We all heard of squatters.
Yeah, there's a few out here.
Yeah, and there is a problem with rentals and houses on the real estate market. People just move in. They never pay a penny. They just move in. Well, this situation is particular to California today, but as I told you earlier, it is also a situation that happens quite frequently in Missouri, and I'm sure other states. This woman moved into this guy's rental house. She never paid him a dime. He wants her out, so he tells her to leave. He has to go through a court process to make the woman move out of his house.
Okay.
She turns around and sues him. Now, she has no money, so they give her a court-appointed attorney who grinds at this guy, okay, until he's coughing up all this money, and she's still living in his house.
Unreal.
He can't rent it to anybody. Wow. So finally, he sells the house, and he's not going to have any more rentals. It has basically wiped him out. But this is a problem that is happening a lot in California. They said it is absolutely going to destroy the availability of rentals in the state. And if you have been watching the news at all lately, you realize that they have a very significant homeless problem, especially in LA, Orange County.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy. So,
Nancy Pelosi, do something about your state, for crying out loud.
Oh, God.
Just put a bill in place. Yeah, she doesn't do anything.
Well, so. She does bill them, but she doesn't put a bill in place, okay? Anyway, it has the magazines calling California the worst place to do business.
Yeah, right behind Canada, thanks to Trudy.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. And keeping with California, seems like they come up in a lot of our shows. Google, the search engine, has characterized California Republicans, or conservatives, as Nazis.
Okay, Google, way to go. Awesome.
Yeah, which has upset many conservatives and Republicans, particularly those in California. That's not all, though. There is a woman that is, she's a state lawmaker in North Carolina. Her name is Trudy Wade, and under her photograph, it says bigot on Google.
Okay.
So anyway,
2 for 2, Google.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. She complains, of course. They call and apologize, but it's still there.
Oh, wow.
They need an eraser. Remember Whiteout?
Yeah. Well, you know what? She just needs to find a lawyer that's willing to sue Google.
Well, that would be fabulous. Great idea. Yeah, I like that idea. I really do.
Maybe she can get that squatter's lawyer.
Yes, he needs them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is hilarious. an off-duty FBI agent was dancing. The video's out on the web. I mean, he's doing backflip. He is an awesome dancer. Big, tall guy. Anyway, he's dancing at a Colorado nightclub. He has one of those holsters where the gun is like in the back of his pants, you know?
Right.
Which is very sexy, I might add. The gun falls out when he does the backflip in the middle of the dance. It falls out of the holster. It's down on the ground. He reaches down to pick it up. It goes off and hits one of the other patrons in the leg.
Lovely. He should have danced too, right? Isn't that what you do? Shoot at their legs and say dance?
Yeah. That's what the mob does, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh. I can't even fathom. He's probably was an FBI agent. He may not be.
Yeah, I think was is the key word there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's in big duty.
Pretty sure at 8 o'clock this morning he might not have been one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the ring of fire might just be erupting. Yeah, I'm saying that, the scientists didn't, I should clarify. But another volcano erupted over the weekend in Guatemala, the Fuego. At least 25 people are dead, hundreds injured. I am sure because early reports coming out of Guatemala are usually, way short of actuality. I'm pretty sure that's going to rise. The Hawaii eruption is getting worse and worse. You have this one. Let's hope that it's not the ring of fire catching on fire.
Well, I mean, there's active volcanoes all around the Ring of Fire, like you say.
Yeah.
And they're going off constantly. This year, there's an awful lot of them happening all at once.
Yeah, a little more than normal. Now, it was, help me out, an El Nino year. And don't they erupt more during El Nino? I believe on the Discovery Channel I saw some correlation, but that might have been one of those, conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I don't know how much truth there is. I don't know how you could really scientifically say that for a fact. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Anyway, Bill Clinton, he's out there promoting a book with James Patterson, which I'm pretty sure he probably didn't write. I'm not sure. James Patterson's been using a writer too at times, so I don't know. Nevertheless, journalists are taking the opportunity to ask him other questions while he's out on this book tour. So he's been asked about Monica and if he still feels bad. Well, he says he's apologized enough. Anyway, the reporter on NBC said, "So did you call her and apologize?" He said, "No, but I publicly said I'm sorry." So in spite of all this and all the other affairs, and, it's endless with him. We've talked about it a lot on the show.
Right.
He says the Me Too movement is overdue. Huh?
Wow, what a hypocrite. Holy
What
smoke.
a hypocrite is right.
Wow, we can agree there.
We don't always agree, but life's a journey and we're all in this together. Remember, do not become anyone's victim, even Bill Clinton. Thanks for listening, and Godspeed, Connor. Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening.
Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the rightleftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. Gma's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins.